Hey everybody, how's it going today? Another hot one here in Baltimore, about 98, ending up July 30th. And so we continued when guitar players would pass away, like Rick Derringer and other recent ones. We've done videos, and we kind of got into a morbid kind of thing where we were just thinking about, let's just get into, guitarists that aren't with us anymore and get into some information about, using their legacy of music to help us, learn to be better. And we'll continue to do that. But today, Ozzy Osbourne, he's the latest one that passed away that I'm aware of. And just a cool story, when Black Sabbath came through Baltimore, and I talked about this before, we had a venue a few miles from where we grew up when we were in junior and high school. And it was just a small place, might have just only held 2,000 people, called Painters Mill Music Fair. And the top acts came through there. When we were, learning our music, learning to play guitar, just love music. And it was a place that you would think these bands needed to be in, a 10,000 seat arena, but they were coming through Painters Mill Music Fair. It was a kind of in the round. It even had a stage in the round. Sometimes it would rotate, but a lot of times when we were there, it did not. So it was 1971, and I was going to see Black Sabbath, and I remember going in, and they actually seemed like when you walked in, where the stage was set up, the band was playing, and I really didn't have much interest with them, but I had to look it up, and it was Fleetwood Mac, the very early years, 1971, and it even mentioned to me that when Peter Green, he left, and then he came back to Fleetwood Mac. So, but like I said, I just went around to the other side of the stage. What was so cool is that me and my friends somehow were always allowed to sit right up front on the floor in front of the stage. So when Black Sabbath came on, I was no more than 10 or 20 feet away from, Ozzy Osbourne and all of the other participants. So today we're just going to play a couple songs in memory of Ozzy and his legacy of music. Like I said, 71, I was 15. So I've been, involved with his life for, most of mine, 54 years, watching him develop. And so we'll just do a couple early songs. I got into the first and second album, and then for whatever reason, when Crazy Train or War Pigs came out, I had moved on. Back then you only had a certain amount of money, so you couldn't buy every single album of every single group you liked. But anyway, to Ozzy. Paranoid from the second album. Remember this one? little dedication, or whatever you want to call it, for Ozzy. One of the things was cool is that I had an SG Special, was my first guitar, and then Tony Iommi, I believe he was using an SG Special. And I think I told a few of you in one of my last videos when I was in Barcelona last week, and I was at the museum for legendary guitarists. That's when I saw Orianthi. The SG that Tony Iommi played early on, maybe even the one that I saw him play in 1971, was at this museum. But what I had noticed, when I was learning the song, and I think I knew it before I went to see them, I was just thinking you had to do bar chords for the song down here. But I was kind of surprised, when I was watching him play, he would play just the E-shaped bar chord all the way up the neck. So for whatever reason, it was just something that I was like, oh, wow, he's playing those bar chords all the way up instead of using the A shape and getting it down here in the lower register where it might be a little stronger sound. But anyway, that was my, Black Sabbath experience, and never will forget it. Never sitting right in front of that wall of sound. It was pretty amazing. So anyway, we'll see you next time. Take care.